What is up, guys? Another video today, and we're looking at an article today that is about Sam Rami as the director of the new movie Send Help. If you guys know who Sam Rami is, he is the director of the original Spider-Man trilogy 1, 2, and 3 with Tobey Maguire, which I am a very big fan of 1 and 2. Not so much of 3, mostly 1. Even though 2 is considered to be one of the best superhero movies of all time. Just what I keep hearing. So this article is coming from Bounding Into Comics. It says, Send Help director Sam Raimi snuffs hopes for Spider-Man 4. Says it wouldn't be right for me to go back. Why is that? Let's get into it. So let's see what's going on with Sam Raimi. It says here, while the internet has been flush with Spider-Man 4 production rumors following the gangbuster success of No Way Home, which is the one with Tom Holland and The Punisher, original Sony trilogy director Sam Rami says that should the Marvel Cinematic Universe ever wish to revisit his take on the wall crawler, they'll have to do so without his direction. So I'm assuming if they're talking about if they're going to work again with Tobey Maguire, which technically they did in the last Spider-Man movie when they brought all the Spider-Man back, I guess he won't be part of it. He doesn't want to do anything with it. Says the Evil Dead visionary, which he is the director of Evil Dead also, Visionary confirmed his lack of friendly neighborhood return plans during a recent interview given to Screen Rant Ash Croissant. Their discussion primarily centered on his new horror film, Send Help, which I haven't seen. I would like to see soon. Rami was eventually pressed as to what his possible Spider future may hold, to which he explained that while he has nothing but love for the MCU and believes the franchise is better than ever, his versions of Peter Parker and Mary Jane had long since gone somewhere else. So I guess after 3, there was rumors that there was going to be a 4 after Spider-Man 3, but it never went anywhere. So they went with Andrew Garfield instead, which it's all right. I'm not a huge fan of Andrew Garfield's iteration of Spider-Man, but it's all right. And he also directed, right here. So it says right here, Doctor Strange Multiverse. So admitting that he didn't feel as it would be right for me to go back and try and resurrect my version of this story, the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness director said he had to pass the torch happily and was ultimately honored to have been trusted with the web slinger's story. So when it came to Doctor Strange, I'm a big fan of Doctor Strange. I like Doctor Strange a lot. I like that it was more Doctor Strange in the second one, but it definitely had that Sam Raimi feel, but I didn't like some of the parts it went to. I think it expanded way too much into like other characters that died off quick. It was kind of a convoluted mess in a sense, but I like that it was more magical, Doctor Strange, powerful stuff like that, but the story wasn't that great. But it says here, Stan Lee's great character that a bullpen of writers in New York Marvel had come up with stories for. He created the character, but so many people contributed, so many artists, that for a brief time I was handed the torch to carry on after 40 years of Spider-Man comics. And then after my 3 movies, I handed the torch off to someone else. And I think they've got to keep running with the storyline and audience that is now following the torch bearer. So he's saying he's pretty much done. And he's passing the torch. Just let someone else do it. Since it happens in the comics, there's always different writers. There's always different people that are in charge. And he's comparing that to the movies also. Says, notably, with Raimi has shut down any chance of his helming a Spider-Man 4, his exit does not necessarily negate the possibility of the film being made. And with the MCU's reputation currently at rock bottom, it wouldn't be out of the question for Disney or Marvel Studios to try and notch an easy win by leaning hard on nostalgia. So this article saying that even though Sam Raimi will not come back to direct, they're not saying that Tobey Maguire would not come back for a 4th movie about solely Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. That would be very interesting. But what it does mean is that any potential revival of Earth 96283 will no longer continue his specific story, as well as while they may do their best to follow in Raimi's footsteps, they will inherently lack the director's specific vision of the web slinger and his rogue galaxy or rogue gallery, which is yes, they take out Sam Raimi. It's not going to be a Sam Raimi movie, and it may not feel the same way as the original trilogy did. And at present, neither Disney, Sony, or Marvel Studios has made an indication that a continuation of Raimi's Spider-Man series is currently in the works, with the only Spider-Man 4 on the dockets being the Tom Holland-led Spider-Man Brand New Day, which technically would now be Spider-Man 4 Brand New Day. So, at the end it says, all in all, what lies in store for Spider-Man's overall cinematic future will likely become more clear following the premiere of the aforementioned Brand New Day, which is currently set to sling its way into theaters on July 31st. Well, that's it, guys. It doesn't look like Sam Raimi's coming back to do any more Spider-Man movies. It's kind of unfortunate because I think Spider-Man 1 and 2 were great. I think it would be a really great bounce back from 3 if he did a 4th one and it was actually really good. I know that they wanted to do a 4th one, but like I said, it just didn't happen. I guess we'll have to see what the new Spider-Man movie that's going to come out with Tom Holland and The Punisher, which I mentioned earlier in one of my other videos. So we'll see what happens. Do you guys think that he'll actually come back, or do you think he's telling the truth? He's not going to come back. Guys, if you liked the video, please leave a like. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike. And please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this kind of news with comics, video games, movies, and anything in the geek culture. Guys, thank you very much, and have a great day. Bye.